Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this new lecture on the training on concerning the oil and gas facilitating business. Since the beginning of this training, we said the aim of the training is to help you become a good and successful oil and gas facilitator, so that you will be able to close deal and make your earnings, make your make a bundle from the job itself. As we have stated before, it is a very lucrative business. It is a very money-making activity, which you don't need a huge initial investment, and the running cost also is negligible. So all you need to start, it is mentioned in the previous lecture or video that we offer, and I really hope that you have mastered it and you are now ready. Since we have covered almost everything, since from the beginning, we have mentioned the players, the rules and terminologies, everything related to the work. All you need, we have given you. Now it is the right time for you to start and get into the game, go into the arena and start fighting. You have all the tools, you have all the require everything you need to succeed. All what you need right now are just some tricks how to run the business. If not, you are ready by this time to get into the arena. Okay, so today I will just give you some few tricks about the thing, how to go about it, especially to when you have your buyer and your seller already, how to get them connected and make sure that you drive a bargain, make sure that you negotiate and prepare all the documents right on time and complete the deal. Okay, the first thing, when you have finished negotiating the procedure to match with your buyer's procedure and you have mutually agreed on it, right, it is time to present the procedure to the buyer. You may want to present your buyer procedure, your seller procedure to the buyer. Okay, if they are slightly similar, but bear in mind that your boss here is the buyer. When you're working on the buyer side, your boss is the buyer. Even if you are working on the seller side, the buyer is always a king. So you have to make sure that you have his own procedure, you analyze it, you have you met the seller, you have discussed with him, you have arranged everything with him, all the documents you have arranged with him. But it is always good, it is important that you have an idea and you have a look on the buyer's procedure also, to see where are the differences, and to look for a common ground in case you see that there are things that done that are not the same. Okay, if things are not the same, then you try to get to a common ground, okay, in between, so that at least you will be able to close the deal. It is as I said, it is not that it is not an exponential thing. It's not something you're gonna do right on the way. At time you will need to call a TTM. If you remember, we defined the TTM as the table talk meeting. That is where you get everybody, all the parties around the table, and you discuss the clauses of the contract and you draft the SPA. Okay, and you define the procedure. Okay, so always make sure that you have a look on the buyer's procedure. Okay, as soon as your buyer accept the procedure, it is time to sign a contract. As a rule of thumb, always ask the seller to send you his procedure, then you can compare it with the buyer procedure to be able to negotiate for a compromise. Okay, as I said, you have to bear in mind that this is A contract is a mutual agreement between two parties. Okay, so the aim is to close the deal by the end. So don't just stick by the rules. Be flexible when drafting a contract. It is better to be flexible and close a deal than to be very strict and at the end you don't close a deal at all. The buyer is the customer and the customer is always right. Keep it in mind, the customer is always right. That does not mean that you will lay down in front of the customer and he will match you on, right? Keep in mind that he is the buyer, he's the one having the money, he's the one bringing in the money. So you have to know how to deal with him. You have to know how to raise some issues, and if in case you want to drive a bargain, you have to know how to go about it. Okay, the seller wants to sell his product. Reason why he is always ready, and as I mentioned that before, he is ready to negotiate. He is ready to allow to listen to what you've got to tell him. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna mention is always tell the buyer that you are working on for him. Okay, your buyer has to know that you are working for him, so that he does not think that you are playing both sides, and he should also trust you. Okay, always tell your buyer you are working for him. Thank you for the lights. I think the lightning was a little bit low. I think it is good now. Okay, always tell your buyer that you are working for him as his facilitator or agent. This being said, he will work with you as his own team member. You are his team member. Okay, avoid a chain connection. Avoid a chain connection. Too many facilitators is not good for any deal. One or two facilitators is all right for a deal. Always tell your buyer that you are working for him, so that he takes you as a partner, as a team member. Okay, and avoid having too many facilitators. When facilitators are so many, at the end the deal will hardly close, because each and everyone will be fighting to make to at least make a bundle out of it. You have to work with one, two, or three. Three is enough. Okay, so try to have to shorten the list of facilitators in one deal. Try to shorten it, and as I said, know how to deal and what time to call a TTM, a table talk meeting. Always have a look at your buyer procedure before you start, before you sign a contract. Okay, when drafting an SPA, you have to make sure that both parties have agreed on what is going to be done. Okay, and before you sign the SPA, also make sure that you sign the NCNDA. I hope you remember what is NCNDA. I have mentioned that before, which is the non-circumvention non-disclosure agreement. Non-circumvention non-disclosure agreement. Make sure that you sign it, because it prevents people from circumventing you. If the seller and the buyers, you don't sign that with them, they will circumvent and go and deal directly, putting you aside. Everything has to go through you, so that at least at the end you gain your commission. Okay, so before you pass the contract to the buyer, always sign an NCNDA from with all the people involved. This is to protect your interest, in an event of circumvention. Do not release your buyers or sellers informations. Okay, keep it in mind. Do not release their informations to the sellers, because the seller will bypass you and go directly to the buyer. Okay, do not give either the seller or the buyer each other's phone number or email address. If you do that, they will no longer need your services. Okay, if you give their addresses, if you disclose their personal informations and contacts, then they will no more need you in the chain. Okay, you become useless and they will deal together. You will never have anything out of the deal, although the contract, I mean the deal was closed. You must remain in the middle and always be the key connection between them. Okay, if you remain as the key player, they will always need your services. This is what I mean by working smart, not hard. Okay, so just work smart. You have to be smart. Things has to go through you, and make sure that you do not disclose the information, the personal informations and the contacts of your I mean of your clients or the person you are representing, so that you don't get circumvent. This is called the NCNDA, non-circumvention, non-disclosure agreement. So be smart, okay? Be smart, witty, and aggressive. You must be very aggressive, witty, and smart while dealing with these two parties, seller and buyer. You have to be smart. They are the big boys in the game and they can crush you up to make their money. You must make them feel how important you are in every step of the deal. You have to be smart, you have to be witty, and you have to be aggressive. Okay, do not trust anybody, either the seller or the buyer. These guys they have been in the game for a while, and at times, as I said, you are dealing with the facilitators, their agents. These guys they have been in the game. They know the tricks, they know the traps, and so on. They know where to trap you. You have to be very careful, you have to be very smart. Do not sign any document without reading, proofreading, and make sure you have understood all the sections in the document. Make sure that you sign an NCN, non-circumvention, non-disclosure agreement with them. Okay, and always ask. I mean, if there's something you don't understand, get to the people, the experienced people, ask for advice before you do it, so that at least you don't get so that they don't crush you up. Okay, if you have questions for this lecture, please feel free to ask right now. Okay, thank you.